Unnamed attendees claimed, quote, the president spoke so softly and with such little enunciation that attendees said they struggled to hear what he was saying. He told the same story more than once about his experiences with the DuPont company during his time as a Delaware senator, one of the people said. Writers Annie Linsky and Siobhan Hughes addressed the article's sourcing by saying, quote, this article is based on interviews with more than 45 people over several months. The interviews were with Republicans and Democrats who either participated in meetings with Biden or were briefed on them contemporaneously, including administration officials and other Democrats who found no fault in the president's handling of the meetings. Most of those who said Biden performed poorly were Republicans, but some Democrats said that he showed his age in several of the exchanges. And the piece leaned heavily on the observations of former House Speaker Kevin McCarthy, who recalled Biden's demeanor during the debt ceiling negotiations last year and described an erratic, forgetful man. Quote, he would ramble, he always had cards, he couldn't negotiate another way. The problem is McCarthy sang a different tune at the time, both publicly and privately. Two different reports at the time said the former speaker praised Biden's negotiating skills behind closed doors, and publicly he was also complimentary, calling Biden, quote, very professional, very smart. The White House pouncing on the contradiction in a statement denouncing the piece. A spokesman telling NewsNation, quote, literally the sole on-the-record critic in the entire story is Kevin McCarthy, whose interview contradicts his earlier public and private statements about finding the president sharp in their private meetings. But the reporters said the White House kept, quote, close tabs on their interviews with Democrats. One congressman, New York Democrat Gregory Meeks, said the White House instructed him to call the reporters back to emphasize Biden's strengths. Partisan media on both the left and the right have run wild with the parts of the story that appeal to them.
But what I find so shocking about this article is they go to Kevin McCarthy as their main source and other House Republicans, the same House Republicans, Mike Johnson, who just there lied through his teeth repeatedly.
He is not sharp as a tack, and it is terrifying how much he has lost in the last couple of years.
And this is exactly why President Trump has said, I want a drug test before the debate, because people are wondering how he's going to make it through that debate.
So that's the question, right? Was it fair? Was it a partisan hit piece? Joining us now, John Ziegler, conservative commentator and the host of the Death of Journalism podcast, and Colby Hall, founding editor of Mediaite.com and a NewsNation contributor who wrote a piece today entitled Wall Street Journal Report on Biden Showing Signs of Slipping, largely based on House Republican criticism. Colby, let me start with you. You think the piece was unfair?
Look, I think there's no question that anyone who's followed Joe Biden over the last 10 years can see that he clearly is operating at a slower, stiffer pace, right? But I think the Wall Street Journal did their readers a real disservice with this story, largely because almost all of their sourcing was blind quotes, anonymous quotes from House Republicans. And, you know, if you want to hear conservatives sort of insult Biden's mental acuity, you can turn on Fox News and hear that every hour on the hour. I think this is a real serious story. We should take this very, very seriously. But to only have one point of view and not to have anyone on the Democratic side is not solid journalism and undermines the larger case, which is why I think, you know, it was kind of a hit piece.
John Ziegler.
I disagree. That I think this is a very legitimate issue, and I think that the piece was sound. I actually would have focused a little bit more on why is it that Special Counsel Robert Hur's interview is being prevented from being public by this administration. To me, that is almost an admission of guilt that there's something amiss here. I did find it a bit humorous that we have to look behind closed doors to see that Biden's mental acuity may be declining. Has anybody watched him in public recently? It's pretty obvious that you don't need behind closed doors stories to be able to tell that something is amiss. My biggest issue here, Dan, and I think this is the part that's being missed, is it's not about Joe Biden in 2024. He is running for re-election. If he is re-elected, he will be president in 2028. 4 years from now, the mental decline is going to be precipitous. Anybody knows anybody, especially men in their 80s, who start this decline. It's quite natural. There's no coming back from this. We need to be talking about what would Joe Biden be like in 2027, 2028. And it's not a good thing for the country to have somebody in that state as president of the United States.
Thank you for watching. Go to NewsNationNow.com to find NewsNation on your cable provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.